Hello. In this video, I'm going to teach you a very easy to learn simple breathing technique to help you lower your cortisol. Welcome to Wellness with John. I'm John Peters, and these are resources to help you thrive. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about a simple breathing technique that can help you lower cortisol. Let me start by explaining why you might want to lower your cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that gets kicked off when you perceive stress. So when your fight or flight system gets triggered and you get stressed by something, part of what happens at the chemical level in your body is that your body produces cortisol. Now, cortisol is something that we need for normal functioning. It's also something that we need to be alert and awake, right? If we had too low of cortisol levels, we might feel like that zombified feeling that you feel when you wake up in the morning and you're not fully awake. But we can have too much cortisol in our system. One of the issues with cortisol is that it can exacerbate anxiety symptoms, and it can also interfere with sleep quality. And one thing to know about cortisol is it kind of has a long half-life. So when we kick it off in our system, it doesn't immediately just evaporate, right? Which is one of the reasons that you get triggered by something and you remain triggered. You remain subjectively anxious about the thing, regardless of what you're thinking about it. It takes a while for that stress to trail off, even if the trigger resolves itself, right? So you can go Google what is cortisol and why should I have less of it. There are lots of things to say about that, but I don't want to labor this video with too much of that discussion. Suffice it to say, we need well-regulated cortisol in our system. We don't want it to be too high too much of the time, right? So there are different ways that people try to lower their cortisol. I'm not going to comprehensively discuss all of those here, but those include medications, supplements, things like exercise. In this video, I want to teach you an easy breathing technique that definitely lowers cortisol. And by definitely lowers, what I mean by that is they've actually researched this with valid research studies and have shown that when people practice this particular thing, their cortisol levels go down, right? So if you want better regulated cortisol, this is hands down, in my mind, the easiest thing that you can do, right? So let me teach you the how, and then I'll say a few more things about how to practice it and why we think it works the way it works, okay? So here is the how. It's simple. It has 3 components, all right? And you can do this here with me while I'm explaining it in order to understand it, and not just understand it intellectually, but actually how to do it, okay? So component number 1 is just relax your body, all right? You know the difference between tension and relaxation in your body. And the goal here is not to be a floppy noodle, but to just kind of let your body relax. So as you breathe in and out, just let go of some tension and feel your whole body relax a little bit. So component 1 is just breathe naturally and let your body relax. So we're getting some sense of relaxation. And maybe it's wobbly, maybe it's not like solid relaxation, but we can steer toward that. Component number 2 is awareness of the breath. So as we continue to relax our body, we're going to pay attention to the movement in the body when we breathe. So the easiest things to notice is the movement of the chest and the belly. And we're going to be mindfully aware of the breath by paying attention to the movement of the chest and the belly as we relax and we breathe naturally. So we're relaxing and we're paying attention to the breath. If distracting thoughts come in and lead you to think about something that happened before or something that has yet to happen, just let go of that. Relax and come back to the natural breath and your awareness of the movement of your body as you're breathing. Now, the third component is going to supercharge the practice and the effects that you get from the practice. The third component is what you're going to do inside your head as you breathe naturally. without changing your breath. We're not going to match the breath to the words that we say in our head. But as we breathe naturally, just like watching the wave come in and out of the beach, we're breathing naturally. And inside our head, every time we breathe in, not out loud, but silently to ourselves, we're just going to say inside our head. And silently to ourselves, as we breathe out, we just say the word out, however long we breathe out. So we relax, we breathe naturally, and pay attention to the breath. Every time we breathe in our head, we just silently say in, out, in, out. I'm doing it out loud for demonstration, but when you do it, it's silent and not out loud, okay? And you're going to do that for about 1 minute, okay? What I want you to do, and here's the how to practice part. Do this breathing technique of relaxing, breathing naturally, paying attention to the breath, saying in and out in your head when you breathe in and out. What I want you to do is do 1 minute, but do 5 to 7 of those per day. And scatter them out through your whole day. Don't do them all in the first hour you wake up. It's better if you do 1 minute here, 1 minute there, and they're kind of spread out through your day, okay? The studies that have looked at that mostly have taught people the breathing technique and then had them do longer sessions. If you do the 1 minute thing 5 to 7 times a day and you do that for a month, you can experiment with longer sessions. As someone who's been teaching people mindfulness techniques for decades, I generally don't recommend trying to start off with 10 or 20 minute sessions a day or something more aggressive than 1 minute at a time, because it's actually a little bit difficult to do the practice and to commit to the practice. And most people who jump in too aggressively give up after about 1 day, and then you're not going to get any of the benefits, okay? So to get the benefits, do 1 minute, 5 to 7 times per day. Commit to doing that every single day. What I've found in terms of just the subjective report of my clients is that within about a week to 10 days, people will report that they are significantly less stressed. And that's evidence of lowering the cortisol, okay? In the studies, they've actually measured the cortisol, which we don't need to do in your case or here in this practice. But just know the studies show that this breathing technique lowers cortisol. And if you do it and you commit to it daily, it's going to help regulate your cortisol so it's better regulated in general. You're likely to feel subjectively less stressed. You're likely to cope better with challenges. And a lot of people also report that their sleep quality improves when they do this practice as I'm prescribing it, okay? So I invite you to experiment with that and see how that works for you. And again, thanks for joining me with this video today. If you have yet to subscribe and like the video, please, and subscribe to the channel for more tips that I'll post in the future. Feel free to go browse my previous videos. And I'm grateful that you joined me today because I know you have a lot of things to do with your time. And thanks for taking a few minutes out to join me here with this video. As I said, try the practice out. Super easy. Don't think too much about it. Don't get too aggressive too soon. Just do 1 minute 5 to 7 times per day over the next few days. And if you get good results, feel free to come back and comment on the video and let me know how you experienced the exercise.